it's Dr. Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com. Let's talk about KOLs. And again, this is, as always, just my own personal experience, how I feel, not pointing out any specific companies, not pointing any fingers. So I have had the experience of being a KOL more than once, many times. I don't do that anymore. As far as I don't plan to do it anymore. Let's put it that way. Why? Well, I'm just going to give you my own perspective. I don't like people controlling what I say. So, and naive me, naive little brain me, trusts people, right? You're like, wow, cool. They're offering to, they're saying I give value. They're saying they love my opinion. They love me to come join their team. I have great ideas. Awesome. They're going to compensate me. I might get some shares. So maybe sometimes when you're a KOL, sometimes you get compensated with cash. Sometimes you get compensated with shares. Sometimes it's a combination. Sometimes it's profit sharing. I mean, it is what it is, right? So, all different agreements, but that's the good side. But there's also a bad side where there's a lot of fine print that they kind of hide in there about what you can say, what you can't say, how you say things, and what you can't say about other companies. And it's legalese, right? Okay, I've got attorneys in my family. I understand legalese, but sometimes even an attorney will say, yeah, it seems fine. It seems pretty standard, it's standard. But after a period of time, these companies, unless you are doing things the way they want you to do them, which is quite often not dental driven and more profit driven, pushing the boundaries. They'll bring you in. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we should definitely keep it safe. And then they'll start pushing the boundaries for profit. And then if you don't go along with exactly what they say, they'll just decide you're not a good fit, or they're saying you're violating your contract. Now, here's the thing. You probably aren't violating your contract, and yeah, they have the right to take away all kinds of things from you when they're done with you, when they're ready to discard you. But they will sometimes say they're going to fight you in court. And this has happened to me more than once. Yeah, we're not going to give you your money. Yeah, I don't think we violated your contract. But they have, because they're often private equity funded, in time, or publicly funded. Private equity is always more, in my opinion, more risky than the public funding. At least the public funding is transparent. They don't do as much shady stuff, and they're a little more afraid if you get litigious with them. But sometimes you have to get litigious with them in order to get what you need. The question is, at what cost? Either an attorney is going to take a giant chunk, and it's going to be hell that you're going to go through for years, if you go in contingency, or you're going to have to pay an attorney. And I've had to do both. So, sometimes it doesn't work out in my favor, and sometimes it does. But emotionally, it is the most exhausting thing. And now I'm pretty much almost like 4 for 4, 5 for 5, like a bad experience as a KOL, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And I mean, I've got pretty good trusting of people. I think I definitely have to meet them in person. That's part of my rules. I make them fly me out, and if I can get vibes, but everybody can put on a fake face, and then their true colors come out. Anyway, sorry, I've been super jaded by being a KOL, and I had a company come and approach me this week again. I probably get an offer every single week. Come on. Yeah, the last time they tried to steal my own company, saying that there was one, this is just, I've told you guys this before, but there was one company where I didn't even get a dime. It was totally for shares, and I really believed in this company. And then, I probably put in 20, 30 hours a week of free work on building a company for over a year. I mean, talk about how much that's worth. And it was supposed to be exchanged for shares. And the last minute, I had posted a photo of my daughter on LinkedIn, which I'm allowed to do as my personal LinkedIn, not my business page, my personal LinkedIn, which is often used now just for social media and stuff. And it was like, hey, so-and-so is starting Invisalign. Doesn't it look nice? What's wrong with that? Tagged Invisalign. Yeah, this was an aligner company. This was also a phase 1 case with a very complicated malocclusion that was surgical. There was no way in heck I would trust a case like that to a new aligner company. Come on, I tell you guys, new aligner companies are for greens, maybe yellows, greens, not reds. And if you don't know what that is, you need to take some of my courses. So, I mean, I'm an orthodontist. I'm going to pick the brand of aligners that is best for my patient. And especially if my patient is my daughter, you think I'm going to try a new brand on them? It has to be an appropriate case. And that's like the fundamental of everything. And they literally stole all my shares and threatened to sue me if I had any trouble. And at that point, I was like, and I don't think this company is worth it. And I don't think they were. I think they disappeared or rebranded. I haven't even seen them around. So poof. But all that work for nothing. So that is why I don't do KOLs anymore. So I just keep telling you guys this because, again, companies come out of the woodwork and offer me these spots. And I'm like, do you not see my position on KOLs? I will do consulting with the company and it'll be paid an hourly wage, but I don't have any attachment to that company and I will not sign any NDA, non-disparagement agreement, nothing. I won't sign anything. There'll be no sign. So if you just stop paying me, I'll stop working. So no risks or anything like that. But again, I'm putting this out there. This is my rules, unless I own the company, and then a different story, 100%. So, all right. Thanks so much. So anyways, I guess ultimately we get down to this discussion, who's liable if somebody gives you bad advice? And yeah, guess what? You're liable. You're the dentist. So ultimately you're the licensed dentist. You're the one that's liable. They're going to give you advice. Take it as you will. I mean, it's no different than a used car salesman, in my opinion. All right, thanks.